Everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher. Okay. As you can see, the title says that we're reviewing the movie Acrimony. The director is Tyler Perry, and Taraja is the main actress. I have a lot of things to say about this movie. It's been a long time. It's been a few years since I've seen the movie, and I think I only saw it once. But it was so good till I really took that movie in. I have the comments on for those who want to comment. So I'm going to review the overview here. Just read the overview. When Melinda, the main character, Taraja, met Robert, she was skeptical of his charming nature, but couldn't deny how attracted she was to him. Once they fell in love, Melinda molded herself into everything he wanted her to be. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but okay. She sacrificed for him. Okay, I can see that. I agree that she sacrificed for him. I agree with that. Worked to support his grandiose dreams and up put up with him for better or for worse. Then one day she realized that after all she had done, another woman was reaping the lavish rewards. That's when Melinda lost it. And now she cannot let go. Wow. That's deep. Okay. It kind of okay, the reason why I relate to this movie is because I feel that in my marriage, the second one, something similar happened. Actually, this happened to me twice, for real, for real. The first marriage and second marriage. Okay. I invested in those marriages. And because of cheating, both of the exes end up with marrying the women that they cheated on me with. Okay. So in this movie, though, which is different, a little different, and it has a twist to it, her husband cheated with a woman before they got married. I believe before they got married, he did cheat on her one time. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen the movie in a long time. But after their relationship ended, which they had a long relationship, very long relationship, um, I think he ended up with the woman that he cheated on her with initially. I could be wrong there. It's possible. So I think that's what really, 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 drove her over the edge. Okay. Who this movie, going to see part two is going to be something. Like, I can't even imagine what's left to do. What's left to do other than watch her be punished? But I'm going to go see it. But before I do, I just want to, just review it. Okay, so to me, who he cheat with and all of that, I won't say it's irrelevant, but it has nothing to do. His cheating and how all that go about is separate, in my opinion, separate from her sacrifices. Let's talk about her sacrifices. Okay. Her sacrifices for in this marriage, in her marriage, was for the sake of the marriage. It was her choice to invest in this marriage in the manner of which she did. That was her choice. She did not have to do that. She didn't have to. So when we do something for people, quote unquote sacrifice, um, that tends to come back and bite you. It will come back and bite you. When you're quote unquote sacrificing yourself for somebody else, it doesn't usually work out. It usually doesn't work out because how can you measure or put value on the sacrifice? How can a person truly repay a sacrifice? So, again, a sacrifice is something that you as an individual choose to do. And usually, your sacrifice is in exchange for something. And that's where sacrificing goes wrong. Sacrificing should not be in exchange for something, to the point where if things don't go your way, that you're going to want to kill somebody. And I did that. I did that in my marriage. My ex, this is the second marriage. My ex forced the concept of adoption on me. I knew I could not afford, I as an individual person, could not afford to adopt another human being at that point in my life. I was in a new marriage. I came in with two kids. The marriage was too new to be adding strangers, let alone a child, a blood child. You know what I'm saying? This is a strange child that we're bringing in our home. So I did it because, again, this is me in lack. I sacrificed myself for my ex by adopting and raising a child specifically for him. And that led me to suicide attempts. It led me to suicide attempts. So I over invested. I sacrificed myself really for nothing because he ended up leaving me for another woman later anyway. Me adopting and raising a child for him did not keep him. I didn't know I was under threat of losing him anyway. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I should have never been threatened with losing him in the first place. Not over something external to the marriage. So that was my first time realizing that this man requires things outside of the marriage to be happy. The things inside the marriage do not make him happy enough. Inside of our marriage, he still experiences void. The word he used, void. So in this situation here, she decided to work and allow him to focus on his invention. She worked while he worked on an invention. That was her sacrifice. That's what she wanted to do. for him. To me, sacrifice is a gift. It's a gift. It's something that you freely do. And you really should not expect anything in exchange because, again, like I said earlier, how do you place value on sacrifice? It's very difficult to repay. So she sacrificed for her own benefit. She sacrificed for her own benefit and it didn't work. That's the nature of sacrifice, which is very similar to the concept of Jesus. Jesus Christ, he sacrificed his life. Y'all know the story. We're coming up on Christmas and stuff. He sacrificed his life. Those of us who choose to believe and follow him, great. But those of us who don't, that's our choice. The point is, he made that sacrifice for us as a gift. If we choose to receive it, great. If we don't, okay. So the sacrifices that we make in relationships, they're personal. They're personal. They really have nothing to do with the other person. All the other person can do is just let it be known what they want. And if you agree, you go with it. And if you don't, then don't. So I don't feel that he owe her anything. I don't think once their relationship ended, he didn't owe her anything to me. To me. She the one that chose to marry a man that cheated on her before they were even married. She chose that. She chose to work tirelessly while he, you know, be creative at home. She chose to do that. And when the marriage didn't work out, um, that's it. The contract ends. It shouldn't matter who he was with at that point. It shouldn't matter. To me, it was a clean cut situation. However, it was very, very, very generous of him to remember her. Very generous for him to remember her and give her, a bunch of millions as he go on with his life. That was fair. To me. To me, I could be viewing this completely wrong. So, um, but based on my experience, I experienced something like that. In my first marriage, he and I started a family business. The family business exists today. He still worked the family business, very successful. We started together. I named it, pretty much birthed it. He worked it. I birthed it. He worked it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I divorced him. After 5.5 years, I divorced him. And not long after I divorced him, he went on with the other woman that he cheated on me for. He actually cheated on me and, married the next woman. And she reaped the rewards, the benefits of the labor of the marriage that I invested in. Yeah, I was hurt, of course. Of course I was hurt. But I let go. I mean, I'm the one that divorced. I left him. I left him before the business blew up. I left him. And so I missed out, you know. And my second marriage, he didn't necessarily uh he worked a 9 to 5, traditional type 9 to 5, and he didn't necessarily make as much money, but um I appreciate the money that he made and worked it. I worked the money that the second husband. could afford. I worked at. And so again, I that's why I can't relate to why she got so upset in that movie. You know. All right, so that's one angle. Now the other angle is him, the man, the man. Ah, he- he- it's easier to talk about her because I'm a woman, I guess. It's easier to talk about her because I'm a woman. And I actually experienced what she went through twice, you know. So it's like, again, in the second marriage, I actually adopted and raised a child for him. And then he just, after 25 years, went off and is living his best life with the woman he cheated on me and left for, left me for and stuff like that. So, ooh, so I've gone through it twice and haven't, tried to hurt nobody like that. You know what I mean? Ooh, it was really hard to watch the end of that movie, the blood and stuff. It was really hard. It was devastating to me. I just can't relate to that. I mean, even though it happened to me twice and it hurt, and I've cried a lot of tears and created this whole YouTube channel and everything, I still cannot relate to that woman doing all the damage that she did. You know, at the end of that movie, I was like devastated. Ooh. But as far as that man goes, he should have kept the marriage going. He should have kept the marriage going. Regardless to who working and how many jobs and all that. At the end of the day, he was the man, he was the lead, and he should have kept that marriage going so that they would have never been in that position in the first place. Period. If he, quote unquote, got tired of her, tired of her. Well, he don't think she was tired of him. He don't think she was tired of working and providing for them. That's why in a previous video, I had made the comment that men's happiness is overrated. Their happiness is overrated. Because when you're a leader, you're leading. You in control of your happiness. Everybody behind you, under you, around you, the people that you're leading, you know, they're depending on you for happiness to a degree. You know what I'm saying? They're depending on your leadership for happiness. Now, yes, the people following you, they can bless you to keep you encouraged. Yes, they can bless you to keep you encouraged. And that's what his wife did. She worked, she was doing basically his role to keep him encouraged. She was his support and was keeping him encouraged. It was his job to feel happy about that. He should have appreciated what she was doing, her sacrifice. He didn't appreciate her sacrifice. He didn't appreciate. My husbands, the first one and second, they didn't appreciate my sacrifices. Raising children for them, starting businesses, whatever, they didn't appreciate all that because they left me for the women. So I understand the movie. I understand how she felt. I understand how he felt. But he was the husband, he was the lead. He was responsible for his own happiness. I don't think the lead should put the burden of making themselves happy on the people that follow them. That's not fair. So she was wrong in marrying someone that she knew would cheat on her. Okay. And that's why, okay, so she was wrong, but while I'm saying she's wrong for marrying someone that cheated on her, while I'm saying that, at the same time, this sounds like a contradiction. I'm going to just, admit it up front. At the same time, I am almost compelled to say that women should marry the men that, when the man cheat on you, you won't kill him. I believe every woman know early on. We know early on the men that we allow to get away with cheating on us versus the men, they better not even think about it. Each man is different. Each man is different. So some men in my life, if they were involved with other women, it didn't bother me. You know, I really haven't come across a man yet where if he's with another woman, it would bother me. I haven't come across that situation yet where it would bother me. Um, but I suggest marry the man that when he cheat on you, because it's likely he will. Look at the divorce statistics, and most people cheat. Most people have multiple loves. Most people do, married or not, even married people. So because of the statistics of infidelity in marriage, married people, when they do cheat on you, you won't disrupt your whole life because of what they're doing. Now I know that don't sound like the best advice out there. I get it. But how many times you gonna break up with somebody because they cheating? How many times? How many relationships are you gonna keep, you know, going through? Are you gonna cap yourself at 5 relationships, 10, 15, 20, 30, 100? How many people you gotta go through before you realize that most people do this? To me, infidelity is just an excuse. It's an excuse to divorce, to break up, to throw everything away. It's just an excuse. So I go back now. She was wrong for marrying somebody who she knew would, have sex with other people. All right. And I believe that he was holding back all those years from cheating on her because it didn't look like he was cheating on her throughout the marriage or nothing like that. And I think he was just holding back because he was in her care. I mean, you're not supposed to bite the hand that feeds you. Who want to do that? Who can afford to do that? He couldn't afford to um do her dirty. He just couldn't. So um but yeah, now going back to me, and then I'm gonna close this out. It's been 23 minutes already. All right, so um back to me. During my second marriage of 25 years, a lot of that time I spent developing this eternal deficit of mankind theory. Okay. Um, I didn't have a title for it years ago. I was working on something without a name for many years, just collecting a body of work and research for years. And then I was given a name for it in Florida. I didn't even name it. Someone else named it. Someone else named it. And just like with my first marriage, I named that company business. And then someone else has come along and named what I'm doing. So it's interesting. So, um, so I've been working on this theory, and my ex did not view me as being worth sticking around. He left me because I look broke. I look, I'm suicidal, broke, um, stuff like that. For the same reasons in this movie. You get tired of carrying somebody. You know what I mean? So my ex got tired of quote unquote carrying me and just ran off secretly. And I mean, we actually had an open marriage, so he didn't have to secretly run off with nobody, but he secretly left to marry somebody who actually got money and a career and all that. And so I'm kind of glad that, the divorce is done. And I mean, I never signed any paperwork, but we won't go there. Regardless to me signing paperwork or not, he married somebody else. So I'm glad that it's all done that way. Both exes are gone and married, and, so I can clearly now, if I get discovered and get a lot of money for my theory, the eternal deficit of mankind, if Dr. Alicia the preacher blow up, my exes, they can't come collect. They can't come collect. I never tried to collect from the first business. Once I left him, that was it. He enjoyed every penny after that. I ain't get nothing. And then the second marriage, after 25 years, I raised kids for you. I was a good wife. Now, he may say I wasn't a good wife. He may say it, but, of course he gonna say that. But I can tell you how I was a good wife. I mean, I got documentation proof. I got the proof that I was a good wife. So, the kind that did what he wanted. I mean, that's what men claim they want. They claim they want a woman that's gonna be there for them and raise the kids and, you know, whatever. I mean, I did it. What men say they want out of a woman, I was all of that in a bag of chips and more, and encouraging him to get higher education. When I married him, he had a bachelor's degree, and through our marriage, we worked our ways up to doctorate degrees. I mean, I was not a lazy wife sitting around doing nothing. I've been working on this theory. I was a substitute teacher, a lot of stuff, guys. So it don't matter. That part don't matter. The point is, he gave up, ran off with another woman because she had more. She had more. It's just that simple. He even told me, toward the end of our marriage before he left, yeah, it would have been nice, had you brought money in. It would have been nice. Oh, really? Now you realize that after you forced me to adopt and raise kids and give up my career and sacrifice. But again, that was my dumb fault. I can't even put that on him. As much as it hurt, I can't blame him because that was my dumb fault. I knew better. I knew better, you know? That was my dumb fault. All right, for letting somebody trick me, out of my own independence. That was real dumb. So, but that's what biblical marriage say is supposed to happen, right? That's what they teach in church, right? But anyway, so this movie was really deep and it hit home for me. So again, the second marriage, my husband left me after using me for 25 years to have the life that he said he wanted. And now he's off, living his best life with somebody else. So Most High is not done with me, guys. I know I'm going to blow up. I know I'm a star. I know what's coming to me. And now that he's legally married just this year, he just married this woman this year. Woohoo. So I'm on my way to blow up. I'm on my way to millions. I know it. It's in my spirit. I just know it. I don't know how to explain it. I just know what you know. And so, they're going to have to watch me rise. They're going to have to watch me blow up. They're going to have to watch me, you know, the reasons why they didn't want me, they're going to have to watch me do it by myself. I'm not going to even burden them with, doing it with somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I can't afford risking a third husband duking me. I can't risk it. I'm too old and my kids, I'm trying to leave generational wealth. And if I keep letting men steal from me, and their lovers, them and their lovers, if I keep letting them steal from us, then my kids won't have nothing. So I can't afford to be in committed relationships with Anybody, men or women, no matter the gender. Women are trained to get that money, you know what I'm saying? But men are out here marrying women for what they got. That is so interesting to me. It is interesting. Marrying women for what they have. There are men who were married women. These women got their own homes. They had their own homes before they knew these men. And then when they divorced, these men will put these women out of their house. They will keep the house that the woman brought to the marriage. I'm like, what? All kind of stuff be going on in this world. I'd be like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I can't afford a third relationship because of the risk of being left with nothing again. And then that means my kids won't have nothing. And I believe in generational wealth and leaving an inheritance for your children, not just in the physical realm with houses and, stuff like that, life insurance, not just that, but spiritually, you know, emotionally, all of that, you know? So again, that movie was buck wild, but I will say that um she needs to separate her bad decisions, her bad choices, and her choice to sacrifice so hard for this man. She need to eat that. She need to eat that, own that, because no one owes each other that much. No one does. No one owes anyone else that much, you know? Now, he, however, as a leader, should be dealt with different. And like I said, I'm kind of limited on talking about that because I'm not a man. I believe other men need to hold men accountable. I speak stronger on her because I'm a woman. And but I believe as a lead, he should have never let that marriage uh, fall apart. He should not have let that marriage fall apart. He should have honored her sacrifice. He had the choice to honor it or not. He chose not to honor it, by staying with her. You know what I mean? But it was generous of him to bless her even after the fact. That was generous. And she should have took that and been happy because she left him, you know. And I've already said on my YouTube channel that the only thing that I'm going to do for my ex is pay off his student loans. I will do that much because, again, his doctorate degree is something that he didn't necessarily want. He pursued that with me. And I super, 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 super appreciated it to the point where I would pay off his student loans. I'm not going to give him millions and millions, but I will pay off that student loan because that was one of his sacrifices for me. Even though he left me, cheated, ran off secretly, married somebody else in my face like that. Again, I appreciate what he did for me. I appreciate everything he did for me, everything. I mean, when I say everything, everything, because I measure and keep up with everything. That's just who I am. I keep a strong account of all matters because I don't want to owe no man. I don't want to be in debt to Most High or any man on this earth. I don't want to be in debt of emotions, of money, my time, anything. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to owe nobody. And I know that pursuing the PhD was a huge sacrifice for him. And it created debt with it. And I believe I'm responsible for it, even though it was his, choice and stuff. But I know he did it for me. And I even read it in that letter. I read, shared an email. And that's one of the lines that he put in there in that email is that, he went to school for me. He did it with me. And I so appreciate it because it is leading to this channel. Everything that he did for me in that marriage has led to this channel. So I have to give credit where credit is due, even though I turn around and say he cheated on me and he did this, he did that. That's just the, you know how you have pros and cons to everything, pros and cons. That's just the cons part. But there were pros. There were good things about the marriage. And it was very, very important to me at that time that we, you know, studied together. I had a dream for us. I had a dream for us. And it was my dream and not his dream. It was never his dream to be a doctor or anything. That has always been my dream. I always wanted to be doctor and doctor, like a power couple. We both doctors. We both, I just had my little fantasy thing in my head. And he agreed to it for a very long time and then decided, I just don't want her stinky ass. I don't want her stinky ass. I don't care how many kids she raised to me. I don't care how many degrees we have. I don't care what she do. You know what I mean? That's the thing. When you're not quote unquote the one for a person, it don't matter what you sacrifice. It don't matter what you do for that person. You're not the one. You're not going to be the one that they appreciate. So you're really just throwing all your sacrifice, time, and energy into a bottomless pit of unappreciation, no appreciation. So I learned, I learned real big. So the movie Acrimony, I mean, I can play multiple roles in that movie. I can play her role, his role. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, wow. So I can't wait to go watch part two. I may even go today. Today is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, L'Oreal. L'Oreal. My baby is 31. My baby, the one that I gave birth to, the last child that I gave birth to, is 31 years old today. I'm so happy. And she has a new job. Now, this ain't just a job. She don't even use the word job. She love her career. She say it's like home. I'm like, what? Oh my God, I can't wait to experience that if I ever do. You know what I mean? I want to be able to do something that feels like home and I get paid. She's working, okay, you know how her dad and I started a family business years ago. She grew up working the business. By age 11, she was working and working it. By age 11, she's working it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so she's able to do the same thing that our family business is. She's able to do the same thing, but now she has full benefits, medical, 401k, all that. Doing the same thing, the family business all this time, you know. So again, I'm gonna go watch this movie. It's definitely one of those crazy type of twin flame karmic thing. You know what I mean? It's crazy like that. But some women will wait around 20, 30 years for a man. Even though he might be married to somebody else using the other person, they will wait for that man. So ain't no telling how long, you know, this last woman that the recent ex married, ain't no telling how long she was snooping around in the background of our marriage, waiting her turn. Ain't no telling. I don't think I'll ever know. I don't want to. I really don't want to know. Um, I may never know. I've never met her, never will. And he didn't think he didn't give me any respect to tell me anything. So fine. It'll just remain a mystery. But I do intend, when I have enough money and have taken care of myself, make sure me and my kids are straight. Whatever the abundance is, I do want to use a portion of my abundance to clear his financial debt from, his sacrifice for me, you know. And I think that was the only real sacrifice he made for me. Anything else he did in that marriage is because you're supposed to do it in a marriage. Anything else he did, you're supposed to do for kids. You're supposed to do these things. So to me, the only thing I got out of the marriage that benefit me was his sacrifice of pursuing a PhD with me, even though it wasn't his heart's desire and passion. I appreciate that because I believe that's really all I got out of the marriage. Everything else that, came out of it was supposed to come out of it. That's what marriage is about. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to my review. Hopefully, soon I'll go watch part two and come back and give a follow up because that movie hit home. I'm almost scared to go watch part two because it may hit home too much. I might be in that theater crying. Up in there crying like, oh my God, I went through that. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? It can be devastating. It really can. All right, guys. I love you all. You all be blessed. Um, and I think I only have one comment here, maybe. It says it's a video. Yep, it's a video. It was a movie years ago and part two was out. So yep. All right, guys. Bye. Oh, and I want to apologize for not running the cuss me out confession venting session yesterday. I'll make up, well, we'll just shoot for next Wednesday. It's a Wednesday thing. So I missed yesterday and my schedule was thrown off yesterday. So I couldn't get to it. But next week. All right, guys. Bye.